The artwork I chose for my project has been created by Esther Hernandez. The artwork is called Sunmade and has been created in 1981. It was created on screen print 26 by 20 in dimensions. Esther Hernandez was born into Mexican and Iroquois heritage in 1994. However, she was born in Dinuba, California, United States. She was a citizen to immigrant parents. Dinuba is a city located in central California. It is located in the direct middle of the state. It is majority Hispanic neighborhood with 68% speaking Spanish. She grew up in a household of farmer workers. Her parents got mistreated in the development of the farm workers movement. This was in the area of the Chicano movement taking place. She even noted her role as a Chicana. The Chicano movement started in the 1960s. The goal was to achieve Mexican American civil rights. A group of people were discriminated and wanted empowerment. This power movement was huge in the area of California at the time. This was where the group of Chicanos lived. They held marches and protested for power. Hernandez was placed in the middle of this movement. Arguably the most well-known fight was during the 1960s. It was the wave for unionization for the farm workers. To sway grape growers and recognize the United Farm Workers in California. The union was launched by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. A national boycotting grapes began in 1965. You can see that this made a huge difference in Esther Hernandez's life at a young age. This is a picture she created of a farmer worker child wearing a flour sack placed next to a sack of flowers. One she can relate to her childhood. This is another artwork created by Hernandez. It's called La Ofrenda, an artwork that depicts a Chicana. She has a tattoo of Our Lady of Guadalupe and a rose, both huge symbols relating to her heritage. When Hernandez got older, she attended UC Berkeley. This was a political hotbed where educated students can gain knowledge and act as activists in the community. In addition to being a political activist, she found her love in filmmaking. That is one of her main accomplishments that she made at UC Berkeley. This is a screen print Hernandez made called Libertad. This is a great example of showing her education that Hernandez gave. It shows her knowledge on the liberty of the United States is built on unjust of the ancestors. We still learn this in college courses today. California has always been known for its sun and its delicious fruits. This area of land has been a hotspot for farmers and workers, providing foods for the rest of the United States. The majority of these workers on the farms are of immigration. It was low-paying jobs with hard work. This is time before technology and everything was done the labor way, which explains Hernandez's parents working on these farms at the same time Chavez was leading these protests. There was one huge company during this time. This was the process to create raisins. The Sunmade Company was founded in 1912 located in Kingsburg, California. This was just west of Dinuba. According to the Sunmade, they used to wear white blouses with blue piping. This lady was the model of Sunmade Raisin. Her name was Lauren Peterson. She was known for pinning the red bonnet her mother used to wear. The company decided to switch to red because it reflected the sun better. The most recent update to the trademark took place in the 1960s. When further steps were taken to modernize the girl, this version finalized in the 1970s, seen on all Sunmade packages we see today. Pesticides were then introduced to keep the bugs from eating all the plants and save the fruits. The purpose was to save money while preserving the food. However, there have been effects associated with pesticides. It could affect your eyes, lungs, and infestation, as long as reproductive and birth defects, as well as cancer. Hernandez recalls her time as a young child. One day it was over 100 degrees and her mother was still boiling water. She was surprised and asked her why. Her mother noted that the water was contaminated with pesticides and they needed to boil just because they needed fresh water. This issue arose was that pesticide wasn't disposed right. Runoff happens when the soil goes into the water source. The soil soaks up all the pesticides and made the water contaminated. The water in Danuba therefore had been contaminated. This was the drinking water for the community as well as the workers and her family that worked on the field. This caused some serious health problems. People started seeing skin irritation and medical issues arose. Pesticide is really bad for your lungs and shouldn't be ingested, but they were drinking it. Understanding the artist, her culture, and the history around the subject is really important. It helps emphasize and understand why this artwork was created. This brings us back to the artwork I chose. It shows the impact of Hernandez's childhood as well as being a Chicana. She wants to spread her message through the art, and she finds it her mission and goal to highlight these issues that her people are facing. She wants to put the social issues on the forefront. By using red background, it symbolizes the heat and the color of the sun. Sticking to a warm cat, she then uses the sun itself to represent the people working in the sun all day, as well as the importance of the sun to grow. It is symmetrical and radial, catching the eye to look directly at it, and is making this area the focal point. Turning the woman into a skeleton made you look directly at it. It shows that the girl is supposed to be beautiful, but in reality is dying. The skeleton is holding the iconic grapes, and the hat as a reflection of the sunlight. Including these words at the bottom. At first you don't notice them, but when you finally do read them, it states unnaturally grown with pesticides. This was important because it replaces all the good things that Sunmaid had talked about and replaces them with the chemicals that are actually killing people. It is good comparison and makes for a valid point. I would like to make note that red and yellow are made to elicit hunger as well. Many companies like McDonald's and Burger King do this to draw people's attention and get hungry. This is important because it helps understand the hunger strike that these people went through just for their rights. It draws attention to it. Prior to this artwork, pesticides had been ruining people's cultures and families for a long time. However, push for current regulations have been key to understanding why this was so important. Therefore, the California Department of Pesticide Regulation has been formed. It was a push against workers' rights, and they forced people to regulate pesticides as well as get permits. It is unlawful to dispose of pesticide as however you want. You have to do it in the law. If not, you are subject to violations and fine. As well as research teams working on prevention methods as well as treatments for people with pesticide. It is important to understand and get rid of every pesticide issue that we have on this world. This is the artwork that I created. I created this to highlight the Chicano movement in today's perspective, with new arising issues that they are facing. I have noted that immigration has been a highlight of the Chicano movement in recent years. On one side of the fence, I have power, greed, and corruption. On the other, I have someone claimed as a criminal. People haven't realized, though, it's kinda hypocrites that USA is blaming these people when they have fact did all this in the past. They are corrupt and want greed, and are blaming other people for their issues. On the top side of my image, you have somebody of the American government, policy. On the other, you see a little girl excited for freedom. She is wearing her American colors, and she is excited to get a new life. However, she is riddled with tear gas and claimed as a criminal. How could someone be a criminal when they have been only born in this lifetime in the past 10 years? I included the words immigration, criminal, terrorist, and rapist. And it is known that the president has claimed that these people have done this. However, I have highlighted the colors in red, blue, and white. That's American colors. I wanted to make sure that it was America doing all these and not these little children that they are claiming. These are the secondary sources that I used for this project. I am thankful, and I will say I am appreciative of all the information that these sources have given me.